Cullen, you're gonna be in my immediate vicinity pretty soon, and so is GC. We actually have a request for you, Cullen.
Oh?
That you bring your Shadow the Hedgehog necklace when you come down.
My ice. Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah,
I was
ice.
gonna.
Yeah. That's a request from our artist, Jake.
Okay.
He said that if you don't bring the Shadow the Hedgehog ice, he'd be deeply disappointed. That isn't what he said, but it was a rough approximation.
It's okay. The plan was for when we were going to meet up, I'd be wearing the Shadow the Hedgehog shirt and the Shadow the Hedgehog ice. So
cool.
I'm easily recognizable.
I'll coordinate an outfit. Yeah, so burnout buddies, burnout babies, burnout babes listening to this podcast. The three of us are going to be meeting up in person. So expect to see pictures on social media of all of us hanging out and me torturing Cullen with all you can eat Korean barbecue. You have a big appetite, right?
I do, but I'm trying to lose weight. So that entire week I'm in California, I'm just going to cry every night.
Oh, well, we're like going to like the most premium place in K-Town. So you'll probably just like weep.
Good.
At
My
like
wallet and my me.
Oh, no. It's really affordable. Like it's actually very affordable because we're going during a weekday.
Premium affordability.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're going during a weekday. But yeah. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is Kazuma Hashimoto. I am one of three fantastic hosts.
Typically
I'm
your
GC.
next GC. We can't get out of order.
Yeah, we have to keep going.
I go last and I am flippant and I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm too good for it.
Okay. Hi, I'm GC. I edit the podcast and I am in a very good mood today.
Hello, lovelies. I'm Cullen and I'm here. That's it.
I love that. Welcome to Burnout Culture, everybody. The industry sucks and so do we. I might try to cut down speaking as much more than usual because I can tell my voice is going to start dropping again soon, and it like my throat is like not in pain, but it's like, oh, there's a change happening, and I'm just like, ugh. So
it's really smart to just tell the people to have like lower expectations for this episode. Be like, we're not. There's going to be like an hour of just silence. Just get used to it.
Yeah, just that could be our April Fool's episode. Just pure silence.
Oh yeah, it's just like, random grunts. Like
all of us are very tired. Some of us drove for a long time. Some of us have been in bed. Some of us have been walking around doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sleepy podcast.
Yeah, super comfy, cozy.
I'll keep you guys moving.
Okay, excellent. So,
first topic. Pass the buck on that one.
This is our Cullen-centric episode. Jake, just draw a giant Cullen head. Just a giant Cullen head. Just Cullen's giant face.
I do have a big head. I have been told that in my life. But I've also been told I grew into my big head.
Oh my god, you're like Snart.
Yeah, I also was told I had big ass ears as a kid, but apparently I grew into those as well, so.
You are literally just like my cat.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird as fuck, dude.
Yeah, no, because he's great. He had huge ears when he was a kitten. He had to grow into them where he would have looked like a little wombat.
But,
man.
So I'm with two very sleepy people, and as the adult in the room, I'm gonna say, where the show ain't over to the fat-headed Cullen sings. So we're gonna make content. We are going all in on content, fucking quantity over quality. We're gonna keep talking until you get bored as fuck of hearing us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you for our 5-hour-long podcast episode.
Please, no.
No.
That would be... Can you imagine having to edit that? It would take literally
10 hours.
1.5 the length of that. So like 7.5 hours to edit.
GC, let us know behind the scenes, like what goes into editing the podcast? Because I feel like people just assume a podcast, like you drag an audio clip onto Spotify and you just put it out and that's it.
So you can definitely do it that way.
You need to be very talented and charismatic to just have 2 hours of raw audio that's all entertaining. But the
reality is that when I edit the podcast, I go in and I remove dead air and silent spaces between audio clips in a way that you don't realize that that's what's happening, hopefully. I also remove any ahs and likes and ums and
for demonstration purposes, for the whole next 2 minutes, can you just get it raw? This is for editing GC, just to show people what it's like when
so don't edit anything out
for just like a couple minutes.
For 2 minutes.
Sure, 2 minutes. Sure. When you hear like a ding, that's when it goes back to being edited, everybody.
And see, here's the thing. In our brains now, we're like, oh, fuck, we can't be slacking. We have to actually try. We got to make content. So the audience, hopefully, will not notice.
Well, they're not.
Sorry, I live in
notice.
California. I say like all the time. It's just the way people speak here, the vernacular. So,
well, we're all fucked because we all live in like beach towns or like beach cities.
Yeah, I also grew up in a beach town.
Yeah,
so.
I lived on like the middle East Coast, right on a beach city, like a tourist beach city my entire life. So I got surfer lingo, and even if I don't like surf, it's just how it is. My dad would always tell me
I throw likes around like crazy.
My dad, who lives more in like the country, like a bit northwest of me, so no like water like in sight. It's like a desert over there, basically. Would always be like, oh, like bro. I'm like, what are you doing with this? I'm like 12, Dad.
Father, you are in your 40s.
Oh my God.
I had a talk with my dad recently. He drove, I almost said up. He drove down to like see me because he was in the area. And I found out my dad's almost 50 and I don't know what to do with that. Now, for the two people in call, I imagine you have old dads. Is that correct?
Yes.
My dad is still in his 50s.
Oh, okay. So maybe you were unplanned like me. But
yes, extremely yes.
Yes. Okay, then GC's not going to understand. But there comes
also
a point.
Unplanned.
No, but you were unplanned with old parents, right?
An old dad.
Oh. Let's not get into that then. Okay. All right. But there's this weird feeling, especially like because I feel like the last like my 20s, the last 10 years of my life have been a blur. Where it's like, oh, my parents are young, and it's like, oh, my dad's almost 50. Wait a second, that means I'm almost 30. Uh-oh.
Yeah, entering the next stage of your life.
I turned 28 in, I think, less than a month.
Yeah.
Wait, are you going to be here for your birthday?
No, but like the week before. That's why we're doing birthday things while I'm there.
Yeah, we're going to take you to the Grove for some shopping.
Oh, that's why we made GC spend a bunch of money to go to California. We like guilted him into buying plane tickets.
Wasn't that much. I did pay more than I planned to just because I wanted nice seats on the airplane. And they were going to give me a middle seat. And if I have to sit in the middle ever again on an airplane, I think I might rip open the emergency exit and shoot myself out.
GC doesn't fly mid.
Yeah.
I don't fly mid.
Man. Well, he's not spending any money on a hotel at least. So.
Yes, thank you again.
Yes, yeah. So while Cullen is not with us, I'll be taking GC around downtown LA. I'll introduce you to Honey Me.
Ooh. What is that?
Can you it's soft serve. It's like soft serve with actual honeycomb inside of it. Yeah.
Can you two do me a favor? Maybe it's just like a backup. Can you guys record the next podcast episode, or at least like a temp next podcast episode, like local, both of you, while you're like staying with Kaz? And then maybe just interject with me like recording some shit separately.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling when we do meet up, we're not going to want to like, all right, let's go inside and record a podcast.
No, I don't think we're good. I don't think we're gonna.
I don't think we're going to do that. No, I think we're just going to hang out.
Yeah, we're just going to hang out. So you guys will get a special secret episode that I'll have something arranged for. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then GC, bring a microphone.
I'm not. Why?
To record a podcast episode when you're staying there.
I guess I I could.
You have, I know for a fact, you definitely have like 2 or 3 microphones.
Not here, remember?
Oh, okay. I guess it's just like I was going
Everything's
through
in
my
storage.
apartment cleaning and I found just a microphone out in my living room. Just a microphone unplugged on a shelf. I was like, oh God, I think I have a problem.
It's all of your equipment.
I have a bunch of gear around my apartment. Like
It's
I
all
have
of your
like,
content creation.
yeah, that I barely do. But I have like tripods out and like lighting rigs and stuff, microphones.
Well, don't worry about it. We will have our Cullen surrogate on podcast for the next episode.
Oh wait, you're replacing me?
No, you'll see what's gonna happen.
Oh, because I was just gonna bring my lav mic and then like maybe in my hotel room or something to record like vlogs. Like maybe every night record like 10 minutes or so and then just send that to GC.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, that could be fun.
Yeah.
Or like if I get like if I go away from my family at the park, just to like see if I could get usable audio.
Oh yeah, because you're going to Disney, yeah?
Yeah.
Going to Disney.
I'm not like a Disney guy in general for several copious amounts of reasons, but my family wants to do a big vacation, and who am I to say no?
See, you're gonna get to meet Nicholas Mouse.
I don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
I saw what he did to Aqua in the Darkness Realm. I don't fuck with him.
Are you only going to Disneyland or California Adventure or both?
I have no idea what the difference is.
So it's actually pretty different. Standard Disneyland is just like all the fantasy areas and Tomorrowland and then Galaxy's Edge. And Galaxy's Edge is honestly, in my opinion, pretty mid in terms of like the experience.
My stepdad and I are going to sneak away to drink the blue milk while everyone's edging in the galaxy. And then I will be leaving because I think it's quite gross to do that in public.
Yes.
To just go out and edge like that. But
yes, duly noted. Your joke has been recorded.
Yes, please note my joke. Well, Kazuma didn't laugh at it, so I was like, oh, Kazuma did you register it as a joke?
Oh no, I know what it is. I'm just staring into nothing right now as we're talking about edging.
That's awesome. I love fumbling jokes on podcasts. It's great. Well, because there's always a worry that like I'm gonna bring up a normal like internet like lingo and then
I don't know
won't get it, Kazuma.
Yeah, because I'm just like, oh, I was in Germany for 10 years. I just wasn't exposed to any of this, you know?
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But like the problem I've kind of come across is that I can't get myself into being excited about vacation because my job, I'm not going to go into what my job is. I've already said it's like software dev, consultancy stuff. But like I have customers where I'm very worried that like me being gone for 4 days could cause serious problems here.
Uh-oh.
And I will be worried the entire time. But hopefully
just don't
everything.
Slack.
I don't have that luxury.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, enjoy your blue milk. Make sure that you and your stepdad actually make a reservation at, I don't know what it's called, Groga's Cantina, Ugu's Cantina.
Oh, we can't just go get blue milk?
You can outside, but it is not the same as it is in the cantina.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to make
a Cantina.
Yeah,
the Stinky Bears Cantina.
Unfortunately, you will not be able to drink the. Hang on, I'm opening up my thing again.
Your thing?
Yeah, you know the list of food that was you won't be able to have your Daguba Sunset Slush with glow.
Oh yeah, Daguba fries.
Yeah. Or Daguba Swamp Water or Daguba Flies. The Daguba Fries. Fries. That actually won't be available when you're there. My suggestion is if you also are going to California Adventure, just buy the wine country passes and you can eat from like really delicious local food stalls in the park for like $75 and you can split that among everybody because the portions are pretty big.
My mom, it's really funny the difference between me and my family. Because they've been planning this for months, and I'm very much the kind of person just be like, all right, I'll go along and I'll get chill with it. And my mom keeps trying to show me like videos of every single thing they're going to and like the menu of every single thing. And I'm very much the kind of person who is like, I don't want to know. I just want to go and be like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. So like she keeps trying to show me videos and I'm like, I'm not. This is ruining it for me. Don't show me these.
Yeah, just enjoy it. Just don't watch anything. I like to watch Disney foodie content because I'm fascinated by the amount of seasonal items they have and how they just continue to rotate them in and out. But yeah, if you go to normal Disney, get ready because that park definitely has the most kids. I don't know if California Adventure has the same ratio of like Disney adult to Disney child because the Marvel Avengers campus is there and it's kind of whack. But I think you'll have a good time, and I think you'll have fun little bite-sized vlog clips for everybody to listen to.
Oh, I mean, I'm bringing my camera, like my nice like Canon that I film all my videos on, and I'm bringing my lav mic just to see what I get up to. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'm bringing my Steam Deck, so at nighttime I can just play a bunch of Steam games.
Ooh, you're staying at the resort, right?
I think so. I don't know where we're staying. They were like, it's a Pixar thing. I'm like, okay.
You end up showing up at my apartment like a wet dog.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm somewhere where I don't know where
I am. Yeah. I have stuff planned for GC when he's here, but it's secret.
Oh,
that's scary.
It's secret stuff. So,
bro, your kidneys are gonna be on the black market.
That's okay. I don't need them. Well, I need one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said ease.
Okay.
I said plural.
I'll just have to quit drinking. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm taking to GC to some local cool spots. So
sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I want to be doing.
We gotta have another trip, and then we can go to places together, like the beach or speakeasies. You know.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said perhaps.
I thought you said something else. Like, oh, what? Yeah.
I was being quirky.
Yeah, I appreciate that about you. You have great quirky energy. And speaking of great quirky energy, everybody, by the time the next episode comes out, we will have a Burnout Culture podcast Discord.
Yeah. I'll look at the Twitter. We'll probably announce it first there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys actually requesting it and showing interest, we're going to have a Burnout Culture podcast Discord. You will see some familiar faces in there. I'm probably going to be a freak and always read everything every morning because that's what I do all the time.
I will be putting it at the very bottom of my server list.
And muting it indefinitely.
Muting it and maybe occasionally showing up and be like, apple pie, and just post a picture and then leave.
No, that you need to keep that energy up. We need to fall into like various like Discord
archetypes?
Archetypes. And mine is I'm hyper vigilant and like interact with everybody always.
I'm the cool uncle who shows up and it's like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? All right, I'm here for 30 minutes and then I'm leaving.
That was my archetype, not there.
Yeah, just gone.
Yep. Killing the bit. That's what I do here.
Yeah. Also, if you guys want to see specific things in the Discord, please let us know. Feedback is always fantastic for running like a community and stuff like that. For example, like if we get bigger, I will be more than happy to facilitate game nights. I do that in my own Discord because people that listen to the podcast have started coming to my Discord. Oh. And now we're all playing the First Descendant together. And I brought up that I want to go to this Fae Court themed fantasy ball in November based on the A Court of Thorns and Roses series or A Court series, which is like early adult erotica. I can't take it seriously, but I'm really interested to see what it's like because it's run by some really prominent book talk influencers, and they're renting out the MacArthur like ballroom around my area, and they assign you a fairy court that you then have to make a costume for.
Oh, so they're like going for it.
Yes, so I'm very interested. And that's when people that listen to us were like, you should take a GC and Cullen and record there. And I'm like, they're not going to be here that long. It's kind of expensive. And I think we would get kicked out for recording a podcast in the middle of a ball.
we would be breaking character too. Like, I know if we were recording a podcast somewhere, I'd try my best to stay in character if we had to, but at some point I'll just be like, screw it.
Okay.
Here's what I've been doing today.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I will report back in November what that is like. Other big August upcoming news, we might have a fourth person on the podcast for 1 or 2 more episodes because Mr. Artist is going to be down here.
Oh.
Yay!
So we might have a tag along for a few weeks. Well,
That's
actually,
awesome.
Yeah. He brings that fucked up energy to the podcast. Ugh.
He's our wild card.
Exactly. You never know what he's going to say. But Cullen knows. Cullen can predict it.
Yes. 2 wild cards make a normal card.
Yes. But that's sort of, I guess, what's happening for us in the near future, far future. Do we want to get into what we've played this week or what we've done?
What have we done?
I went to Anime Expo.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Was that 2 weeks ago? Fucking.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks have been insane. I feel like I've done nothing and the world has rotated several times.
Yeah, it feels like 2 months have passed.
The world has turned and left me here.
Literally.
My goodness.
Now I'm in North Dakota.
Wow, North Dakota. Why North Dakota?
I rotated and I stayed in one place, so I just kind of skidded to another location.
Wow. So if you just keep skidding in that location, then eventually you'll make it all the way to Iceland or something. I don't know.
And I'll probably just drown in the ocean at some point.
Cullen confirmed not being able to swim indefinitely
I mean, if
or
it's
breathe
the
underwater.
ocean,
Just
what if
float.
Yeah.
Forever?
Yeah.
I want to drop you both in the ocean and just make you drown. And then
Oh,
be like,
I can't do
couldn't
that. I
it."
don't know how to float.
Yeah, exactly.
I do.
Fuck off.
I can float for like a little bit and then like my legs start to sink because I'm very dense. It's one of the like curses of being very short is that you're also very dense. So I'm like Wolverine. If I go into like a body of water, I sink like a rock.
So what you're saying is Cullen is the Titanic dresser or whatever. If we're in a unfortunate cruise liner accident, we have to crawl on top of Cullen to stay alive.
Yeah,
because his bones are lighter because he's so tall.
Oh, all right. Whatever.
But yeah, I went to Anime Expo. I got some really cool interview opportunities and hangout opportunities. There was that Dodgers game that happened, and I ended up getting invited to that by HoloLive. I met up with Gen Urobuchi and Takaya Kuroda, and ended up getting some cute Lilium's merch. It was overall a fine event, but downtown LA is absolutely fucked when Anime Expo happens.
I can imagine. I think
bad.
downtown LA is already pretty packed to begin with, but when you have a bunch of tourists and expo attendees there, it's miserable.
Traffic like multiplies by 2. So it's like, okay, I can get to downtown LA in like 20 minutes, but then trying to get out is like you're there for an hour trying to leave.
Oof.
And it's like, damn, I hate this. I hate this so much.
That's very similar to the Disney traffic up here or down here, I should say, respectively. If it weren't for the theme parks, because I live very close to the theme parks. If it weren't for the theme parks, getting to my job would take me 20 minutes, but because of all the theme park traffic, it takes me about an hour and change to make it to work and back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Physical pain.
But how was the rest of the expo?
I wasn't there any longer than I needed to be. I did my business. I met up with who I needed to, and I left. But there was a giant Gundam display and a giant Gundam Breakers 4 display that had a holographic projected Gundam suit that would change and rotate.
I wish
Cool.
I want to go to Anime Expo, even if I'm definitely going to get COVID if I go, just for like the stuff like that one of these days.
Well, you have a place to stay. So, no hotel. You just come, you can stay here.
Fuck yeah. Speaking of, did you have any more to talk about Anime Expo?
No, I'm trying to remember what else I did because it was a really packed week. I felt like I did a lot, but some of it I actually can't talk about. So let's just say let's move on to somebody else before something pops up and I'm like, "Oh my God." So let's just go. Let's just go.
Cuz I was going to say speaking of Gundam Breaker 4, GC and I played the Gundam Breaker 4 beta over the weekend.
We did.
I am so in.
I am also in.
It is very rare to play one of those kind of betas, and both GC and I are at the same level of enthusiastic.
Yeah, usually when we play a game together, there's a varying degree of like interest, where one of us will be really interested and the other one will be kind of interested, and we'll keep playing because the other one's really invested, and it's like, well, this is a fun time to have with friends anyway, so let's keep playing. But this demo,
I was gonna say, unlike the Battlefield 3 multiplayer we played where we were bored the entire time. Did we talk about that on the podcast?
No. Long story short, we tried to play Battlefield 3 together, the co-op campaign, and we thought it was really boring, except for this one mission where we're in like an office building that we thought was actually kind of good. And we were like, that was awesome. Let's do that again. And then it threw us into a sniper mission that wasn't very clear with instructions. And we were both kind of like, well, that was fun. I mean, we could stop here. I don't really. Do you want to keep? I don't want to really keep going. Okay, I guess we'll stop.
I don't want to do this. Fucking worth mentioning though is the one mission where like the fucking Gundam fans like, no, go back and talk about Gundam. But like this mission where it's like you have a helicopter, right? One of the people has to pilot the helicopter. The other gets to shoot.
And we couldn't pilot the helicopter. We kept crashing it into the side of a mountain
within 5 seconds.
Yeah. Like we couldn't take off.
We'd like get up and then immediately just like fucking nosedive or like spin the entire thing on its side, blow it up. And we spent like 20 minutes just trying to figure out how to pilot this thing. And then when we finally did, we realized that the mission was just, oh yeah, there's a little village in the Middle East, gunned down every single building.
Yeah.
And it's just one of us trying to pilot and the other shooting. It's just like, I don't feel good about this.
I feel like at any minute we're going to mess this up, and then that'll be the end of that, you know?
Oh no, but for me it was mostly just like, this is propaganda. I don't like this.
But yeah, Gundam Breaker 4 is really good. At least the demo was. The demo was really good. It only had 3 missions, and we didn't play like a whole lot of it, but it gives you so many items.
We did play all of it. It's just there wasn't an idea on what the big picture of what this game is going to end up being in terms of like content. We really could only judge the like gameplay. And what's wild is that we played on Switch. Why? I don't know. I think it was just convenient for like 2 of us. And we were like, GC, get on your Switch. He was like, okay.
Well, the network test isn't on PC.
But it's on PS, like it's on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, but I don't, that's
exactly. So 3 of us were just like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, my Switch is right here.
Yeah, exactly. We were like, the Switch, we could just play on Switch. It ran great on Switch. No complaints. Obviously, we're going to get it on PC. But, well, actually, no. One of our friends might get... I might have to double dip on this game. I don't know.
We're working out the logistics of it.
Hey, Bandai, huh?
We need to get bigger, and then we can start propositioning, you know?
Bandai? Huh?
We need to hit that 10,000 follower mark.
Bandai, listen, don't tell anybody. I'll totally lie and say this game's amazing. Huh? Come on.
we already like it so far.
Yeah, but like we were playing it and we were having a really good time. It's for those of you who don't know what Gundam Breaker is, because you're like, oh, the Gundam game, huh? This is essentially Gundam Breaker, well, Gundam Monster Hunter in the frame of you are building your Gunpla. And the Gunpla, for those of you who don't know, is the Gundam plastic model kit. So you are essentially playing a VR, like in the story of the game, it is a VR MMO where you are building your own Gunpla. So when you defeat enemies, they drop loot, and that loot is like the runners for the different Gundam pieces. So you're gaining a bunch of pieces every time you go out, and all the pieces have stats. They could be different weapon types. All of the weapons feel different, like they control different.
Yeah.
We were kind of blown away at just how much like stuff was in this game.
What I really liked about it was that you could kit bash the different gunpla parts together to build like your gunpla monstrosity. And then you could also paint it together to like make it like a uniform color. But what I really liked was that you don't just defeat other Gundams to get their parts. You can also, I have to like, when I pick up the game proper, I'm going to look into how that works. But there's a breaking mechanic where you can break pieces off of the Gundam. Cause there was like a time where like, I actually like broke the head off a Gundam and it gave me that piece before I beat the Gundam like in actuality.
And there's like different grades that they're representing as well. Like the SD Gundams are there. You get to build a little SD Gundam if you want to. There are bosses.
Put SD pieces on regular sized gunplas.
Yeah, and then there's like some of the bosses are like perfect grade Gundams. Like whenever you fight a boss in general, it shows you the Gunpla box first, like the actual Gunpla box.
Yeah, with the actual artwork.
With the actual art that you would go to the store and pick up. It shows you that, and then the robot comes out of that. It's like super cool. If you are looking for like a hunting style game, especially one that you can play with a bunch of other people, I think the like max lobby size is like 24. I don't know if that means there's going to be 24 like people like modes. I do think this game will live and die by the different like mission variety and the modes on offer. I could see this game having a really long tail. It depends how much content is here and if they will keep providing like more content. But we were all having a great time. It plays really good. There's a lot of like things they put on buttons. Like if you're listening to this, pick up a controller, right? Every single one of these buttons is basically used.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they combine to do other things as well.
Yeah, like you have all of your button, like let's say for example, the A button that can jump, or if you hold it, it can dash. And it's like, so it feels like you're operating machinery in like one of the best possible ways, but not so much so that it becomes more like Armored Core, where it like really expects you to master like how all this works. It is a lot more.
Well, I wanna specify that you're simplifying the controls a bit, because it's actually like really robust, where it's tap the B button to jump, hold the B button while you're idle to do a boost jump. If you tap B while you're moving, you dodge. If you tap B while you're airborne and you're neutral on the stick, you do a fast drop down. If you tap, or if you hold B while you're in the air, you'll boost mid-air and you'll like do it like you'll boost like forward or whatever direction you're holding in the mid-air. And then once you're like in air, there's like combos you can do with your weapons, and you can even like hold down like if you're I'm gonna say neutral, where you're not moving the stick, right? If you hold like the attack button while you're neutral, you will do like a downward smash attack. But if you do that while you're on the ground, you'll do like an uppercut that puts you in the air. Like it's actually really like there's a lot of tech in that demo just off the bat. And then your gunpla pieces will actually influence the extra abilities that you can do as well.
And what's really neat, and what instantly made my brain switch to happy mode, is so there's your dash that you just explained, right? And then there's a dodge, and those are different things.
Yes.
They're like kind of similar, but a dodge is more like a dash is good if you're just trying to like get some distance. A dodge is more like it pushes you a little further away, but that feels a bit more precise. It's like you got to move like right fucking now. It feels great. Like the game feels great, and I cannot wait to play it on my PC at like 180 FPS.
I only worry, the only thing that I think I want from the actual game that I think is going to be necessary is it needs to have a lot of boss battles, and those boss battles need to play very differently. Like the bosses need to have different move sets. because that's kind of what makes these hunting games is memorable bosses.
From what we played, the one boss that there was, like the one big boss that was there, it was basically like an MMO boss. Like it had AoE markers and everything.
Yeah.
Which that's something I'm actually appreciating more and more that we're seeing in like these action games, is just bring in kind of MMO mechanics and use like actual action game combat in them. Yeah, I really liked how it felt to play. There was so much variety that we were able to see in how it was built, like how you could build your Gundams. And what I really loved is there's a bit of a kind of short menu, for lack of a better term, of abilities you can kind of activate. Like if you hold RB, you can get like it changes your face buttons into very specific abilities that are available depending on how you build your Gunpla. But what's cool is that you can hold, they call them pallets. So when you're building your Gunpla, you know, you use like pallet 1 and you see your face buttons and you map a special ability to each of the face buttons. I would assume naturally that the pallets are just like, okay, I want to do this pallet for this battle, but I've saved this other pallet and I can use it for another battle. No, you have 8 abilities you can set for your Gunpla, and you can just switch between them. The amount of things you can do in this game, like at once, is insane. There's so much freedom in like the stuff you can do. And that's something I always get bored with Monster Hunter, is that as fun as I'm having, eventually I'm like, okay, this is now like whittled down to I am doing my combo and I know my combo and there's nothing else. And I feel like I've already done everything. Whereas this is like, oh yeah, you can just like, every time you change your Gunpla, you'll get a new set of these abilities to set. And then it's like, so, and you are more or less at the end of every mission going right back into the hangar and changing your Gunpla. So it's like every battle I'm like doing different things, and it's keeping me engaged the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm glowing. I was not expecting to like it this much, and I was always set on buying it. But you know, the Gundam games they're inconsistent in quality. And the last Gundam Breaker game was not great. So I'm blown away. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It comes out next month, I think, at the end of the month.
Cool.
Wow.
Speaking of all in, I finished Dragon Age Origins in its entirety.
Oh, hell yeah.
Literally yesterday.
Kazuma and I tacking in on like who's going to be the silent one for this bit.
Oh no, I love Dragon Age.
No, I know. That's why I don't know anything about it. So I'm saying, all right, you're tagged in.
Okay. How did you like it?
I played through, so I beat Origins. I think I beat Origins between the podcast episodes. But yeah, Origins is still really fantastic. Really surprising amount of depth and conversation in Origins about sort of the exchange of power and like what it means to hold that power. And I don't really want to go super into it because my brain is still kind of jelly about it. Like I'm still trying to formulate thoughts in my head, but I went ahead and I played through all of Awakening, which is the expansion module for Origins. And then I played Witch Hunt, which is the last DLC for Origins. I didn't play Golems of Amgarak. I didn't play the Darkspawn Chronicles. I didn't play any of like the what ifs or the side DLCs that don't add to the Dragon Age keep, because my plan is to play through all of them. And I forgot that Awakening, I didn't realize that Awakening is still really good. It's just not as impactful as I remember it being. But it's a very good epilogue chapter for your Grey Warden character. Really fun companions, really interesting companions, like especially if you're a noble human. The game kind of assumes that you play a noble human in Awakening, and you get to meet like all these interesting characters, and your companions are cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. It's really good. They added like more abilities and stuff like that. I can't really go into what the games represent or what they're about because I honestly haven't put too much thought into it yet. Like I was saying.
Well, I think the politics of the Dragon Age games are pretty muddled. in terms of like what they're trying to say, and as they go further along, and this how I'm going to describe this could rub people the wrong way, but you could tell that it was written by a bunch of white people.
Yeah.
BioWare.
There's definitely a sense of, that is something that I noticed. There's definitely a sense of, for lack of a better word, I don't want to say centrism, but
no, there is that.
Yeah.
It's you haven't seen a Game of Thrones yet.
No.
When we start watching that, because we're watching House of the Dragon, we can revisit this Dragon Age conversation, because they wholesale lifted stuff out of Westeros and the Forgotten Realms and definitely made it its own thing, but didn't have some of the world building or politics that made those specific scenarios and worlds compelling.
Right.
Yeah. Dragon Age is a very basic good versus evil, with you having to make difficult decisions because the characters are really well written and interesting. Like the thing with Logain, right? And we can't really talk about that because Cullen hasn't played it yet and Jake is still playing it. So we can't really talk about some of the consequences to your own actions. But as you, I think when you start to play Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, when it really tries to become its own thing, it sort of begins to definitely be extremely centrist in terms of how it tries to present specific issues, like, you know, lobotomizing people that are stand-ins for people who are mentally ill or minorities, and being like, well, you know, there's a reason we do that and maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, doing all this shit later on. I always like to use the mages as the example because it's the one that always gets brought up, because there's like a huge conflict involving mages, and then that bleeds into Inquisition and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, like there's some okay, it's coming back to me now. Dragon Age Origins has some really interesting discussions in it where without spoiling it, I can say that it's split into episodes. Mm-hmm. It's very episodic in nature, where you go to a location and that location has a problem, and you solve that location's problem by picking a side. And the side you pick, sometimes in some parts of Dragon Age Origins, it's very, very black and white, very dry, of like who's wrong or who's right. In my opinion, like I think they were trying to create more difficult decisions and like nuanced sort of situations, but they kind of fumble that a little bit in Dragon Age Origins, where
the dwarves.
Well, no, the dwarves. I think the dwarves are actually like one of the better stories, because it's not. It's kind of like you wanna pick there's a well-meaning, you know, kind of very kind-hearted old man who's like trying to become king, and he respects the Grey Wardens, and he's very, you know, honorable, and he's polite, but he wants to reinforce the incredibly shitty caste system of the dwarves, and he wants to instill even more traditionalism in the dwarves, and he wants to isolate the dwarves, and he wants to close the dwarves away from the rest of the world as much as possible. And then you have this other guy who's kind of a jerk, and he's not, he's very manipulative, and he clearly is working in the shadows, and he's very open about it, and he's not hiding that from anybody. And he wants to become king by any means necessary, but he wants to introduce reform into the caste system. He wants to give the casteless an opportunity to not be casteless. He wants to open more trade with the surface world, and give the dwarven merchants an even better opportunity to like sell their stuff and their craft and whatnot. And he's even, you know, he wants to make his would-be queen is casteless, and he wants to like marry her or whatever, and like He wants to better the relationship between the dwarven people and the rest of the races.
Wait, is his queen your sister if you're a dwarf?
I don't remember. I don't think I never played Dwarf Commoner.
Dwarf Commoner's so fucked. That's the origin my community picked for me. Holy shit. The dwarf caste system sucks.
Yeah. And so that's why I ended up picking the guy that's kind of a jerk. Because, all of the reasons. And that's not really spoilers, by the way, Cullen, if you ever do play Dragon Age, like that's literally the basis for like that is just the information you're given. I'm not going to tell you what happens if, you pick one or the other, or like what you have to do in order to pick a side, so to speak. But yeah, and I thought that was really interesting because it kind of plays on people's expectations of what exactly is the right thing to do. But also it plays on like what exactly a good person is to you. And like you do thinking and you're like, well, like, okay, so he works in the shadows and stuff, but he's a noble. Like they're all doing that. And that influences your decision making. And the world building there is very crisp. It's very good because it helps inform those decisions, right? So Dragon Age is very strong. It has very strong world building. It has very strong moments like that. But then you have like situations like the mages and the Templars, which is what you were saying, right?
Yeah, the mages and the Templars.
Where it's like, what do we do with people who have magic in this universe? We collar them, we seclude them, we segregate them, we literally put trackers into their bodies so that we know where they are at any given time.
Or we lobotomize them.
So they can't feel any emotions. And we basically use them as like shopkeepers and indentured servants. And like what's the bad thing? What is the thing that makes this a difficult decision between siding with the mages and the Templars, right? Like what is the whatever? And it's like, well, sometimes mages abuse their power. And if they can't control their magic, they become bad people, or they become possessed by spirits, and they might do bad things. And you go, so just people then. And you're like, yes. Okay, so they're just people who can abuse their power just like anybody else. And you're like, yes, but they have magic, and you're like, I don't see it's very difficult to see things from a Templar's point of view. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the kind of person who believes other people should be enslaved for just sort of being born different.
You're a cop.
Unless you're a cop. Yeah.
Like a Republican.
Like it's really hard. It's really hard to see the Templar side of things. And the game sort of like, if the game is trying to be centrist about it, it's doing a really bad job. And I think that is the case.
Yes,
because the other storylines are pretty well balanced in terms of like sort of giving you like good questions, making you question things in a good way, where it's like, okay, what is a good person? What is a bad person? What is the right thing to do here? Except for
pointing
the mages
at Terran Logain.
Yeah, pointing at Terran Logain, where it's like, what is the what was the right move or whatever. Although with Terran Logain, I pity him more than I find him sort of nuanced. And that's why I end up doing what I do in the game. Why I ended up picking the thing that I picked. But
you should read The Calling.
The Calling?
Yeah, you should read the Dragon Age books, the ones that tie into Origins, because he's in them, and it really changes your perspective on the character if you read those.
I might, honestly, because...
It's about like him and the young king, and he's like the one holding shit together as the young king wants to go off and fuck elves.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I should read those because one of the things about Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Awakening and Witch Hunt is that the writing in all three is really, like the general writing,
it's good.
Character writing, it's very good. It is fantastic. I know I talked about it a little bit, but the world building via dialogue choices that you don't necessarily have to pick, companions telling you about, like, companions coming from different parts of the world that you're not currently in and talking to you about those parts of the world and telling you like these things, and then finding items relating to those parts of the world and then giving them to those characters, and then that opening up another branch of like conversation between them about those places, and sort of like the way you grow closer to your party over time is also really well done.
It's really fucked how we had some really good narrative games in the past, and that really just became like the norm. Like what Dragon Age did, like in retrospect, now that I've actually started like working on games or have been working on games for a while, like I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like all of these different dialogue options, you can legitimately get locked out of certain things with certain people.
Yeah.
All of the different like combinations, and you can harden characters. It's like an invisible stat.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like hardening people. Like I
Get
remember
people
like
hard? Maybe I do need to lock in.
yeah, you gotta lock in, buddy.
I love getting people hard.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
hardening is basically like you are
Mhm.
you are very friendly with the character. Maybe they're even your love interest, but you push them down the path of becoming kind of callous.
And this isn't kinky?
This is the coolest part. You're not making them evil.
Yes.
You're
just
not
getting them
shifting
hard.
their alignment.
Yeah,
So
you're getting them hard.
as a
You're
really,
just
as
getting
a,
them hard.
I'm just gonna like, I'm not gonna spoil who the character is, but I am gonna tell you like the process of what like goes down. Right?
Okay.
There's
I'll
a
think of
character
it in the worst faith like in rendition possible of whatever you say. So continue.
There's a character who's like, hey, you know, I found out, or I know for a fact that I have a sister. She's my only living relative, and I've never met her before. And I would like to go see her and talk to her. And I want to like, I want to ask her about our, my parents or whatever. And you can go, okay, let's go see her or whatever. And if you go to do that,
It gets them
she
hard.
goes off on him. She's like, you ruined my fucking life. Pay up. And he goes, and then you have like a whole interaction. He goes, what the fuck was that all about? And you have several dialogue options, and you can just be like, hey man, don't worry about it. Like, it's okay. Like, don't stress it. Or, maybe with time, sure, whatever. Or you can tell him, dude, listen, people are everyone's looking out for themselves, dude. Like, I'm really sorry this happened, but you have to sort of, and this character up until this point has been very like laissez-faire, like very like, oh, I'm going to make jokes about this. I'm going to quip about this. I'm not going to take anything seriously or whatever. But in this moment where he's really hurt, in this moment where he's really distraught, you can shake him and you can be like, dude, you need to open your eyes and stop being so fucking naive. People are out here looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like shit is serious. Shit is bad. And then later on, when you go back to camp, he goes, I've been thinking about what you said, man. And like, you might have a point. And then you have the option to go back on what you said or reinforce it. Yes. And be like, yeah, dude, like,
Stay
this,
hard.
that, or whatever. And from that moment on, that character will literally look at you and go, you know what? I need to really look out for myself more. I need to take things seriously more often. Like, I need to stop fucking around. And he'll do that for the rest of the game. And he'll have different dialogue responses and even like story responses to things that happen.
I feel like I would really like Dragon Age's like moment to moment like character dialogue. I just could not get through the prologue. Like, that does actually sound really interesting, and it sounds like the game is it is a big ass journey to just go on with a bunch of neat characters. I just couldn't get past the prologue.
Just treat it like a tactics game, like a pause and play tactics game, because that's what it actually is.
I think I just need to give it more time. I just like didn't. I was like, oh, this is weird, and that was it.
do what I did. I set it to easy at some point because the mages in Dragon Age Origins are broken. And I got into a situation where there were 2 mages on opposite ends of a room, and they literally cleared my party before I could kill both of them. And I got fed up with it, and I just changed the difficulty, and I was like, fuck it.
And that's why I play a mage. I love to summon blizzards, electrical storms, and massive tornadoes of fire all at once on one person.
I will cast sleep, then horror, then waking nightmare, and everyone will die. But things like that is just what makes Origins great. Also, you might have trouble getting through Origins, period, because the game crashes if you sneeze or look at it too hard.
It was pretty stable on Xbox.
As long as you're not playing a human.
I'm like an elf, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. On PC, I'm playing a dwarf, and I've had no crashes. No issues.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's only if you play a human, because Jake's playing a human too, and his game is crashing constantly.
Yeah, I had to buy the GOG version of the game and play that because that version of the game is more stable and it utilizes more RAM.
Old video games, everybody.
What a headache. But thankfully, I think Dragon Age 2 is void of any of those issues. And I'll probably start streaming Dragon Age 2 tomorrow.
Oh, I'm
It's going to
so
be
excited.
A good time.
I'll be there. I will literally be there.
No, you won't, GC.
Oh.
Because tomorrow we're streaming. This is going to date this episode. Outer Wilds or
At what time? Because remember, I stream in the mornings.
Oh yeah. For some reason, I thought you'd be working tomorrow. That's on me. No, it's later in the night. Yeah, you're allowed to stream.
If I work a Monday, I'll stab someone.
GC has been given free will once again.
I'm free.
Until you have to then edit the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And then Dragon Age Awakening is great. It takes all of the tough decisions, difficult sort of things, good world building, and goes, okay, that thing that you've been, that actual evil that you've been fighting in Dragon Age Origins, the thing that you've been trying to get everyone to stop fighting with each other to like handle. Okay, here's more information about that absolute evil. Here's like a development in that whole thing. How do you feel about this? And how do you feel about that? And suddenly it's like, oh, what would you do if absolute evil tried to change and be different? And then you're sitting there like, well, I don't know what I would do. And then the game goes, well, you better make up your mind quick because this expansion is only 20 hours long. I had a good time. I'm excited to play Dragon Age 2. I'm making a Mage Hawk because that's canon.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
And I've never played a mage in a Dragon Age game before, and I want to play a rogue in Inquisition, so...
You should totally learn blood magic as Hawk.
Oh, I'm going to.
Because it actually does stuff in 2.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been playing MMOs, trying to chase the high of World of Warcraft Classic and not finding it. So, downloaded Guild Wars 2, walked around, didn't like it, downloaded Cataclysm, understood why everybody hated Cataclysm. Like, no, that was so GC and I were like sitting in Cullen. I was like, I want to play an MMO. I want to play an MMO that has a pet class, that has a really nice in-depth system. I'm gonna go play some World of Warcraft Classic. I boot up Cataclysm Classic. I make my Belf, my blood elf. I join like a really dedicated like guild. They give me 200 gold on my hunter, and then I realize I don't need to feed my pet anymore. Nope. And I'm looking over my pet options. You don't even store your pets anymore.
Mm-mm.
Your pet doesn't need to be happy. It's just there. It just exists. I hate it. They took away all of the interesting elements that sort of made World of Warcraft fun and engaging and super. I hate using the word immersive, but immersive in terms of like playing your character. And it got me bummed out. So then I went back to playing the First Descendant, which is a game I gave a 6 out of 10, but I play every day. So a game I can say a game is not good, but still enjoy it. Oh, and I played Throne and Liberty, and that made me really depressed. So I don't know.
Damn.
Do you know what Throne and Liberty is?
Throne and Liberty, you told me the other day what Throne and Liberty was, but I actually forgot. Is it?
It's a sequel to Lineage.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sequel to Lineage, and it plays like Guild Wars, and the localization is bad, and I'm begging East Asian developers to actually give a shit about their localizations, because I'm like 2 for 2 in games that could be really great having really bad localizations. The First Descendant's so much fucking fun, and you can literally grind out everything in that game for free. Like characters, weapons, all of it, minus like cosmetics, which don't really matter. Except the story is incomprehensible at times.
It's just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, and it's like X-Men in space. Like the last surviving humans got weird powers. Like there's a character, Valby. She constantly has to like be in this like wetsuit type thing with a helmet on. If she takes it off, she'll literally turn into water and die.
Jesus.
But she can like basically manifest water on the ground and like go through it, and it's like her whole gameplay mechanic. I play a guy who's just a pyromancer basically, and he likes to cook. Like it's interesting. Like it's a fast-paced third-person shooter with grappling mechanics that's also like a looter shooter, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's someone compared it to Borderlands, and I would say yes, Borderlands without the annoying writing and memes.
That reminds me, GC and I were in a shooter mood, and when I say that, I mean, I was in an impulsive shooter mood, and GC was like, all right, what do you want to play, little fella? And I was like, oh, well, let's try this game. And we tried to start a Borderlands playthrough. And I think I got like an hour in, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I was there. I witnessed it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Borderlands 1, by comparison to future Borderlands and also other like video games, has the driest opening, and its humor does not hold up at all.
It's just like everything was just boring. I said to GC,
and the guns felt terrible. The guns felt terrible.
Oh yeah, the guns are awful. They're like so much worse than I remember them feeling. Because when I was a kid, and by kid I mean like teen, I don't even want to calculate the amount, like the age I was at when I played that, because I'll just feel old. But like I was like, I loved that Borderlands when I played when I was younger. It was so cool. And now I'm like, this is garbage. This is really bad.
You might want to pick up the First Descendant if you want. Like we can play it together. It's pretty fun. I played it a little bit too.
You guys keep trying to get me on that, and I'm like, oh.
It's a third-person shooter with like abilities and stuff. You might like really like it.
Yeah, it's actually genuinely fun, and if you do like it, then I'll be a little cheeky and I'll gift you a character.
We don't even have to play it like seriously. We can just know.
When my review backlog clears up a little bit, and I'm like because I'm in a spot right now where I am doing whatever I can to avoid spending money on 14. Like right now, my like do think nothing like game is Zenless Zone Zero.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably gonna like switch that out for something else soon. So like maybe I'm not saying no.
The First Descendant is free, and Jake, if you're listening to this, Jake does play every day, by the way. Just tell Cullen about Kyle.
Oh, that's just that white guy you were telling me about, right?
Yeah, but he turns into a Gundam.
Now, does he turn into a Gundam or does he turn into a robot?
No, as in he gets the thrusters on the back of his suit open up, and you like basically can fly and dive into enemies and stuff. Like,
okay,
yeah, there are some cool character archetypes. I play a support, so I just drop ammunition all the time. How are you liking Zenless, by the way?
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's like the definition of okay. Unfortunately, they have very hot women. Like not I need to clarify that, not counting the obvious like tiny underage looking characters. I don't fuck with that. But like if you're like, I want everyone to look up Jane Doe Zenless Zone Zero, and if you are attracted to women in the slightest, you're probably gonna go like, oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So I'm just waiting for that. That's it. That's really it. There are women who are cool. That is the only thing I think of when I play that game, because I'm pretty sure that's the only thing they want you thinking. Like all the story cutscenes, just a bunch of yapping. The gameplay's fun enough, but it's like, I wouldn't say it's like great, but it's not the worst. I play it on my phone when I'm bored.
Sometimes that's all you need. I do the same with AFK Journey. It's just fine, but I log into it every day to stimulate my brain.
That is really it. I was like, I do my dailies and then I move on. But yeah, is that anything else we've been playing?
I think we're done with playing. I feel like I've done so much. Like I had to review Dawn Trail. I reviewed the First Descendant. I played Throne and Liberty. I checked back into Poly, which I need to play more because I'm an official content creator for that, and I don't really play it anymore. Watching though, I got GC to watch more House of the Dragon with me.
Yes, you did.
How did you like it, GC?
At any minute now, this bottle of soda will erupt and explode, and everything will come falling out, and it's gonna get all over my carpet, and it's gonna be difficult to clean up. Is how I feel watching House of the Dragon. There is a mounting tension and a looming dread that I cannot disregard happening. And I am here for it every step of the way.
I want you to make some predictions for me, GC. Who do you think is gonna die?
Yo, Lord Corvus has his number, all right? Lord Corvus.
Yeah.
I think Lord Corvus is going to die at some point real soon. Either he's going to die or he's going to be the reason someone else dies.
Okay.
That man has the fucking machinations of that man's mind cannot be deciphered. He's up to something.
You're talking about Corlys Valerian, right?
Corlys, yeah, not Corvus,
yeah.
sorry.
You're not talking about Otto Hightower, someone whom we hate.
Oh God, I can't stand Otto Hightower. Jesus Christ, I've never like encountered a man who's so right about everything that I just wish he would shut the fuck up. Like every time he opens his mouth, he's like, we really shouldn't be trusting this guy. And I'm like, shut up, Otto. But he's right. But I'm like, just shut up. Just shut your mouth. Just stop talking. Go away. And then he does go away and you're like, yeah. And then you go, wait.
He needs to come back.
The voice of reason is gone. Wait, come back.
Who's your favorite character in House of the Dragon?
It's gotta be Daemon, right?
Yep. Daemon Targaryen.
Daemon Targaryen is like easily. I mean, I'm a little biased because I like Matt Smith from Doctor Who, from his Doctor Who days, but his performance as Daemon Targaryen is so good. He is relishing the role. Like he loves it. He's like marinated in that role. Daemon is a smartass. He's sort of an enigma. You don't really know what his motivations are or what he's trying to do. And it's starting to dawn on me that what he wants to do is whatever the fuck he wants in a series where everyone has ulterior motives for the sake of the crown or for the sake of their family or their social standing. Daemon is just doing this shit because he himself personally wants to. And he has
he's the Cullen, he's the wild card.
He is the wild card and he has a chip on his shoulder.
They're not getting me to watch, but representation.
And he has like, there's this really great scene where I won't say much, but like there's this really great scene where Daemon is trying to do something without the help of his brother. And at the last minute, his brother is like, fine, I'll help you. And Daemon is like, forget that. And he goes out and he tries to do it himself and he succeeds. And the whole scene feels like this really big foreshadowing of things to come. And it's just like, you feel Daemon's frustrations in that there's so many things that he wants to do that he cannot do or that he fails to do. And it seems like he can only succeed when he does things in spite of others or in spite of his brother. And it seems to just piss him off even more that seems to be the only time that he can achieve the things that he wants to achieve, as if it's in spite of somebody else. And I'm here for it. Every minute of it, I'm here for it. But the real star of the show is the main character, Rhaenyra. Like, and Rhaenyra has like this whole thing about being a noble with expectations set up for her, and she sort of wrestles with that. But also House of the Dragon has like a lot of discussion about like gender identity and gender roles and expression, and like what that means as like a younger person, and then having to face like older people who think you need to fit into like this specific mold as well. Like, House of the Dragon is so far a surprisingly smart show.
So excited for you to get to the second season, because you like Rhaenys as well, the old lady, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the women are actually like the best part of the show. They're like the most interesting characters.
Yeah, they are. And there's also like that discussion about like women, like the show stresses a lot about like what the women in that society go through, and what the women in like that life are put through, and how they're treated. And it's a really great, like, obviously it's drawing parallels to real life and stuff like that. But it does a really good job discussing that. It doesn't feel heavy-handed. It doesn't feel, ham-fisted, or it doesn't feel like it's pandering to anybody. Like, it's a very intelligent discussion about how women are treated and stuff like that too. Like, it's a very, like, the show talks about a lot of things in a very smart way, in a very mature way, in a very like thoughtful way, in between scenes of men getting their skulls caved in.
We love to see it. But there's one character we hate above all else, Sir Criston Cole.
Man, what a piece of shit. And I was not against Sir Criston Cole at the outset. Like, at first I was like, okay, he seems like a nice enough guy, and I fell for it. I fell for the nice guy routine. I was like, ooh, Sir Criston Cole, you got me. I fell for that stupid nice guy routine. That guy is an incel. That guy is
a homophobe.
A homophobe. He is toxic as hell. I hate him.
All my homies hate Sir Criston Cole.
I had to drink something because my throat is getting hoarse.
It's all that discussion of Sir Criston Cole. I'll start sending you House of the Dragon memes whenever new episodes come out, because it's always like, what is it? If there is one hater, it is me. If there are no haters, then I am dead. And it's always about Criston Cole.
He's great, and all the performances in that show have so far been incredible. But Criston Cole's actor is playing it completely straight, which I think is what makes it so effective. Where he's not playing the character. And this is what makes it great. He's not playing the character in a way where where the character himself is somewhat feels self-aware of what they're doing. The character is completely oblivious to how they're behaving. And he is playing it straight. He's not playing it sarcastically. He's not like adding like a coyness to it. He is like if the scene calls for Criston Cole to be upset about something, he's not doing it as like a whiny baby. He's like deeply upset. You know what I mean? Like he 100%, the character 100% like feels betrayed by like things that happen in the story, and it's so good because it makes you hate him even more, because he, like, you really truly get a sense that the character does not realize that what he's doing is like shitty. And like, granted, like if it were any other circumstance, he would be in the right, but it's not that kind of circumstance. And again, like it goes back to the show being very very smart with its discussions, and like sort of having like a conversation about the responsibility you have as someone with power versus what you personally want, and what what your desires versus your duties and stuff like that. And so good. Such a good fucking show so far. And I've only seen like 5 episodes.
We got to finish that first season. But Cullen, have you been watching any interesting TV, any fun TV?
No, I've done the exact opposite. I watched the end of MILF Manor 2.
Ooh, what happened?
It ended in a wet fart.
Oh no.
Where I think the only relationship that looked like it would actually work was the one between one of the older men and one of the old, there's only old women because they're MILFs, but like one of the MILFs and one of the older men. And at the last episode, a bunch of people just left. They just bailed. They just left the show. So what they do is on the last episode, at least in this season, the night before, they have all the women leave the manor. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, they have the guys stand on the dock. And then the women boat in. And if it's like one man, both parties decide if they're going to work out. If the woman is courting 2 men, she has to pick between them. One woman just didn't show up. Like, she just had the boat take her home. One of the women who had only had one option was like, yeah, I'd like to have this work out. And he was like, oh, but we live kind of far away and I don't want to move. And then they awkwardly like kind of stood there, and he was like, I guess let's not hug or anything. And she like went away and she cried, and he just stood there awkwardly. Like, before this, no signs that there were any issues with this. This like Italian guy lost. God, it was so whatever. Like, there was one couple on the show that were actually like really cute together, but that was it. They like got together obviously, and that was it. It was kind of just a wet fart of a finale, and I loved it. Overall, garbage, messy reality TV show. And then you look on like the Reddit of people who are like actually tracking what's going on with these people on like Instagram, and you find out that most of the relationships didn't work.
Oh.
Or like some of the guys, like one of the guys was like an abuser or something, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. It's all just garbage, all just trash. God, what else did I even do? Like show-wise?
Because we haven't been watching The Vampire Diaries.
No, we're waiting for our group to kind of have time to do that. I think we might try on Friday to watch more of that. But yeah, it was just like the MILF Manor arc has come to a close with a pathetic whimper, unfortunately. And so because of that, I hope they get a season 3. I love barely produced reality TV. It really feels like they just put a camera there and let them just do whatever. But obviously, without producer guidance, it's all kind of just boring garbage. So they have to piece the boring garbage together the best they can. And then that's it. It's like 12 episodes of boring garbage that's suddenly over. Like, it's so funny because they were introducing new people like 2 episodes before the finale, I think.
Was it because people were just leaving?
Well, no, because I don't know why they did it like this. It feels like they needed like 4 more episodes.
It's to give the network a reason to greenlight a season 3. It's to be like, look, we have new people coming onto the show. If you give us a season 3, here are the storylines we can do with that and stuff like that.
Well, no, because the show, like, the season's over. Like the cast members, like it's like
Is it always new MILFs every season?
It's always new MILFs, and it's always new people. Except in season 2, they brought back the most annoying woman from season 1 who was also the winner, I guess. And it's like, that didn't work. But like a couple episodes before this ends, as it is wrapping up, they introduced 2 new guys. And then like, obviously in that time, one of them just doesn't get to connect with anyone. So he just like, he gets kicked off the show in the finale because he just didn't make any connections with anybody. It was like, I guess this really told me that one day I want kids. It's like, that's great, buddy. Get the fuck out. Yeah, it's just, trash. Love me some garbage. I wish it was more garbagey, but what's a fella supposed to do?
Damn.
I know. I'm like trying to think, like, besides that, I'm not really watching any shows. I want to be. I might queue some stuff up for when we, the plane ride to California. But like, I guess I've been watching some like more Lupin the Third.
How's that
that's
going?
not. It's good. Like that's the thing. It's like it's Lupin. It's good. The end. It's just fun television. But I guess what I also did, only thing of note is I went to go see Princess Mononoke in theaters. And it was the first time I ever saw it. Have you guys seen Princess Mononoke?
Yes.
I thought that movie was good. I'm not really like a Miyazaki diehard. Like, I'm not a Studio Ghibli guy. I liked Castle in the Sky, and and this isn't Ghibli, but it's Miyazaki, and I like Lupin the Third, Castle of Cagliostro. Everything else Ghibli has worked on, I've thought has just been like, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine,
Yeah, like, fucking everybody gushes over Spirited Away. I think that movie's not good. Like, outside of the basic, like, the art is good. Like, it is a lot of artistry in making it. I just don't really care for the movie.
Wow, you've never fallen in love with a river spirit? Couldn't be me.
No, it's not my thing. Instead, my thing is cool wolf women in the forest who put a knife to your throat. When that happened and the guy said, "You're beautiful," I was like, this is a real dude. This is real. I fuck with this guy. But no, Mononoke is good. The ending is a bit like I feel like Ghibli movies always really struggle in like concluding themselves in a satisfying way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So so you're left kind of feeling like, what am I supposed to take away from this? Because it has that it's like an environmentalist movie at its core. But I will say it does a good job in writing a lot of nuance for both sides of the dynamic here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mostly they do that by making like a third side, more or less, because it is very much like, okay, the ironwork city and the nature, like, and they're clashing, obviously, but they don't make the people who live in the ironwork city like evil.
No.
It's being ran by a woman who specifically is just trying to make a home for the people of that society, a lot of which are like female slaves she buys out of like servitude and then just gives them freedom in this town. And like it's like this cool like matriarch society. And the reason why she is so aggressive in like, taming the forest is just to build a home for her people, to keep them out of oppression. And like it does a good job in making it so that there's like a lot of people who are like both wrong and right, except for generally like the Empire being the third, and it's like they're just evil. Like, which good, do that. But it wraps up in an interesting way, but it kind of doesn't have like a satisfying conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, though, you could make an argument for that being part of the point. And I think it's a good movie. If I were to rewatch any of them, that would be up there on the list. But if you're one of the people who doesn't understand why I don't fuck with Ghibli, I ask of you to just go watch his first ever movie, Castle of Cagliostro. And so you can at least see where I'm coming from when I say that he peaked immediately in his career. But you don't have to agree with me, but you might at least see what I kind of value from his movies and what I don't. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie outside of the fact that no one knows fucking etiquette in theaters anymore. And it's really fucking annoying.
Oh, what
to
happened?
see people talk.
Oh.
See, but is it etiquette, or is it just because every time you go to the theaters, you're watching an anime movie?
No, because when we went to go see Challengers, the people in the theater were really fucking annoying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the couple to the left of us were like just talking the entire time. The boyfriend kept making comments. Like there was a point, I fucking kid you not, where the guy was like, Because in the forest, there's also like different clans of all the different animals that like stick together and like are vying for power. And one of them is the ape clan, and they show up at night in like the pitch black. And I shit you not, I hear to the left of me, it's like, get the monkey in black. And I was like, what? And the girlfriend was like, oh, you're awful, but I love you though. And I'm like, this is like fake. This isn't real. Whatever's happening to the left of me, this is like a sitcom shit. Like whatever this is. And of course, when we leave, we go and it's like clearly a guy in the military. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I just wish you could be like, shut the fuck up. Like, and that was cool.
You can.
Well, no, because
you have that power.
Yeah, you have the power. Shut up. Yeah.
No, but I don't want to make it weird. Also, I hate conflict.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there.
Sometimes.
No, but I'm just sitting there like really mad for a lot of it. And like anytime anything remotely high concept starts happening, he was like, what's that mean? What's that? I don't get it. Huh? What? And there's a point like, and making innuendos of like anything at all. When like the the matriarch lady is just like, bring the main character to me. And he's like, oh, he's gonna get it. I'm like, dude, like, what?
You know what it is? People have forgotten that when you go to a movie theater, you're not in a Discord call or you're not in the living room with your friends and you're not just like riffing on a movie together because, you're with your friends and you're having fun. Like when you go to a movie theater, you're going to a place with strangers, and to respect other people, to respect the strangers who may not be interested in your 2 cents, you keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say anything. Like I think people have genuinely forgotten that strangers do not give a fuck about what you think of the movie.
No,
you are watching with them.
See, the thing is, though, I don't think they even register the other people in the theater, like, when they're doing this. And it's annoying. It's like, I am here to watch a fucking movie on a big screen. If there is a moment of, like, hype or something, or hilarity, that's when I want to hear something. Yeah. I'm not saying the audience needs to shut the fuck up constantly, but I don't need the commentary. And I really think COVID broke people's brains. In many ways, but definitely in regards to going to the movie theater. Because I swear every time I go see a movie, I come back with like, oh, the movie was good. The theater experience was fucking garbage, though.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very common sentiment. I've been super lucky. The theaters out here, everyone's like actually quite quiet and invested in the movies that they're going to go see. Like outside of people cheering when Paul Atreides starts his holy war. Yeah, some people just don't get the plot. Sorry, I'm just like, sorry. Have you seen Dune, Cullen?
Nope, still haven't.
Okay, well, that's not a time people should be cheering in a cinema.
Nope. From what I gather, everything about Dune is it's the most like, hey, we made a satire. Oh, people didn't get it.
It's not a satire. It is a very strong commentary on
white saviorism,
worship. Yeah.
No, I've heard like everything about like what it is trying to do and how people largely don't get it. And I don't really wish to like discuss like were they successful in it's whatever, because I know most of the people there. It's like, oh, this is sick. This is sick as fuck. I love Joe Bob or whatever his dumbass name is. Paul
Atreides and then Duncan, Idaho. Everyone loves Duncan, Idaho.
Fucking dumb. Dune fans, your thing's dumb.
Yeah. The thing with Dune being a commentary is that I think regarding that discussion, people should be listening to MENA creators more in terms of what that represents, as opposed to what people are inferring by a white guy in the 60s wanted to write about the Middle East. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, no, I've been super lucky. Like when I watched Barbie, everybody was having a great time. They were just laughing. Nobody was talking to each other, but they were all laughing. Or when I saw Lord of the Rings in 4K in the cinema, everybody was just having a good time. Everyone was quiet though.
I think it really it goes to show what general audiences view as respectable media.
Oh yeah, because you're watching a quote unquote cartoon, Cullen.
Yeah. Which is really funny because people definitely brought their kids. And for those of you who don't know, people get fucked up in Mononoke. There's like decapitations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sick as fuck. When I was watching being like, oh, I'm here for my little family-friendly Miyazaki environmentalism movie. And the main character uses his super demon arm to like shoot an arrow back at a guy and his head is cut clean off. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with your game, Miyazaki.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's sick as fuck. I don't care what that says about me. Decapitations in anime, cool.
Well, the way they animate violence is so kinetic.
Yeah, it's like kinetic and like elegant in a weird way.
Yes.
It's not gratuitous.
No.
It's like almost feels like matter of fact, and it's like it feels more raw because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am dreading later in October where they are going to be putting the original Gundam trilogy out in theaters.
Oh no.
Because that's like the big thing. I think Anime Expo is like, they work with like cinemas now and they screen anime movies like every month or every couple weeks. You'll get like a new anime movie on the big theater. And honestly, that has been a lot of me going to the theaters, is just watching anime movies on the big screen. And in October, they are putting out the original Gundam 0079 trilogy. Just all like in a period of like 3 to 4 weeks, you're just going to be able to see all 3 movies. And I'm stoked. I'm genuinely really excited to go do that. It's going to make like each week like really fun in the like, you know, the month of October. I'm like so excited because I also get to bring my girlfriend and force her to go watch all of them.
So, quick question for you. Do you actually want to see a movie when we meet up? Because where we're going has like a really nice theater.
There's nothing out right now though.
We could watch Twisters.
I guess. I'm going to say at the moment, probably not. I don't really like to go waste time watching movies. It's something I struggle with. Like when you gave me homework to go watch the movie and I couldn't do it. It's just because it's like it's really hard to get me to like watch a movie.
Okay, because for some reason I was like, oh, Cullen can watch movies easily, and I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Once I like start, it's like, you know, it's whatever. But it's making myself sit down and watch it.
Could also watch Maxine. You haven't seen Pearl.
Let's just go outside.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to be outside. That's the thing.
No, let's just stay outside.
Okay, we'll stay outside. I won't let you go inside any building. You're banned from going inside of buildings.
Fuck. Cullen, it's hot outside.
So?
Gotta get some air conditioning.
Oh, no, where we're going, it's going to be nice and cool because they have a man-made, like, mini lake.
You're telling me a man made this lake and it was mini?
You're telling me yeah, it was.
A little man, a little guy, as it were.
Yes, I dug the lake just for you.
Oh, sick. You know, I do appreciate already that like GC's head will be reflecting all the sun rays away from us.
I'm not wearing no I'm not going out there bald. Are you kidding me?
You're really going to let us burn alive when you have the ability to reflect that back up?
I'm gonna wear a beanie. I don't want to burn my head against the sun.
Tim Pool ass.
I know. Don't start.
Just get a bucket hat. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna get a bucket hat.
Maybe we'll buy a silly hat while we're out there, and I'll put it on and I'll wear it.
We just go like we do that little montage where we're going to all the stores, and you're like, you come out in a different hat, and we're like shaking our head, and we're like, or thinking about it. Then we find the right one, and we like nod.
Yeah, it's like this one, and it's a freaking propeller hat with like a rainbow pattern on it.
Yeah, and then you're just like, yeah, and we go on a big shopping montage. It'll be fun. I'm gonna post a bunch of photos on the Twitter account of your bald ass head.
That's fine. You can do that. I'm not bothered about being bald. Audience,
you reach a point in a friendship where you can't really get people anymore because they expect it. They're not surprised, and they've realized at a point where The best way to combat me is that they just go, yeah, okay. Because I hate it. I hate that.
Well, I mean, I don't mind if you take pictures of my bald head. It's fine.
I want to do like a game of like Foursquare.
You can slap it if you want to. You can rub my bald head.
No,
I don't like touching other people.
We need a picture for the podcast, and it has to be one of those like really weird like fisheye pictures of you taking a picture down at GC and his bald head looks really huge.
No, what we got to do is we got to get a photo. We have to
recreate the thumbnails.
Yeah. We gotta get a photo of like it's the back of GC's head, and then we like pretend it's like in the reflection of it is a picture of me and Kazuma.
Oh my god. GC is now Wizard Orb.
You want to polish my head while you're in California? Be my guest.
Oh man.
Well, we'll go to a Home Depot and buy like a buffer, and we'll just like.
But speaking of movies and homework, we should move on to homework.
Yes, we should.
Okay. So I did play the Bionicle game.
Oh, I forgot I gave you.
You gave me a fucking Bionicle game, which is a weird third-person shooter where I switch masks to change powers and Legos pop out of things I kill. That's all I can say about it. It's weird.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? I also have nothing to say about mine. Sorry, GC. GC, do you have a lot to say about yours?
Dave the Diver, was that what I assigned you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do have quite something to say about
right.
Lord of the Rings, The Third Age.
We will get out of your way then.
Yeah.
Well, once I talk about this, do you have anything else to say about Bionicle, Cause?
Give
us your review.
Bionicle.
Okay. So, Dave the Diver is an
indie game.
You are Dave, and you are sequestered off to a place where you dive. So basically the game is broken up from what I played into two sections. It is the daytime where you are diving and you are hunting for fish and loot and all this cool stuff. And it's very neat. It's very intricately designed in a way where like you are going down, the controls feel really nice. You have a certain amount of air you can do before you have to like get out of the water. You have a harpoon gun of sorts, and like, so you're trying, like the fish are always moving and they react to you. They're very like reactive, and you get too close, they'll freak out. So you have to like aim perfectly and like predict where they're going to go. And the game feel is amazing. And it feels really satisfying to reel the fish in and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh, when you're under the ocean, I had such a great time. And then I realized that the other half of the game is Diner Dash. And I fucking hate Diner Dash.
Oh.
Because it's too stressful. And I get PTSD flashbacks of me working in food service. And that's when I had to stop playing the game. It wasn't even that stressful. And I'm sure if I locked in, I would have really liked like how it all worked out. But like my brain rejected it. It's like, if I could just do the diving part of this game, all-time classic for sure. But I was like, oh, the food service sections, when you're serving the sushi to people, there's definitely some fun stuff to it. Like, I like how they make mini games out of parts of it, like pouring tea. I thought that was really cool, where you have to like estimate how much tea you have to pour, and it's simulating all these things. And that's why I must say, this is a great game. I totally get why it won all the awards. Make no mistake, but there's just part of it I just don't, this is just not for me.
I also found the food service section to be a little underwhelming. I like setting up the menu.
That is neat.
Yeah, I like setting up the menu. I know later on you can hire people. So later in the game, you can hire people to do the food service for you, but you still kind of have to help them out a bit. Like, you can't just stand there and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets a little easier, and then demand sort of increases, and then it gets a little stressful, and then it gets a little easier when you're able to hire more people, and so on and so forth. And that's sort of like the loop or the progression for it. But yeah, the real strength of that game is the diving part, and the diving part is a lot of fun. And it just sucks that in between the diving parts, you play this little mini game that gets kind of tedious after a while.
But yeah, I really, because I was playing it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm finally gonna have something to like talk about, like substantially on the podcast. This is sick. And then I was like, oh no, I don't care for this.
Yeah.
Video games. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And when they hit,
go on, GC.
Lord of the Rings, the Third Age.
When they hit their Lord of the Rings, the Third Age. Lord of the Rings, the Third Age is a delightful little video game that I had the pleasure of playing for the podcast. And I thought the combination, everyone was telling me this is basically Final Fantasy X, but like a budget Final Fantasy X set in the Lord of the Rings universe. But it's actually Final Fantasy X mechanics meshed with tabletop RPG mechanics, because you have like stats that you put points into when you level up. You have a gear system, like every party member has several gear slots that you can put items into. All of your abilities are also very D&D based, like, oh, this attack will do more damage to this kind of person. This is a little song that'll buff all of your party members. This is a little thing, like little whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought the classes were very unique. Like your healer isn't just a healer. Your healer can also like just be a glass cannon caster or a very like a rogue character. And then you have a ranger who's like an archer, but he can also, well, actually, I think that one, I didn't really get to explore a lot of that, but like your main character is a fighter and he's really good at fighting and buffing the party and he's super good at doing that, but you can also kind of make him a tank. And then you get your actual tank who's like a dwarf, and the dwarf has tanking abilities, but he also has super high damaging abilities that are also really risky to use and stuff like that. And I thought that was all really neat. And I thought the game's linearity was sort of in service to a lot of those mechanics, because I wasn't really worried about where I was going and what I had to do. I just kind of kept trudging through one area after another, boom, 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 the story advancing all the while. I get little clips of the Lord of the Rings movies.
With Lord of the Rings music.
With Lord of the Rings music. I can't put that I streamed it. I can't put that stream up anywhere because it's easily copyright flagged for it, but I loved it. I loved Lord of the Rings, the Third Age. I might go back and play more of it at some point because I had such a good time. Yeah. Nice. Only real complaint is that the game is very loud. The game is very loud. The sound design is a nightmare and a half. Like the noises are just blowing out the audio every chance it gets. Yeah.
I mean, hey, glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
And on that note, we should assign each other some homework.
Yes.
Cullen, it's your turn to describe our whole
thing,
Fire Emblem thing, Fate Grand Order thing.
Sure. So, we go on a triangle, and the triangle switches directions every single episode. So last week, I assigned Kazuma something, GC assigned me something, and Kazuma assigned GC something. Triangle went out of order. So we're flipping that. So this week, Kazuma's assigning me something, I'm assigning GC something, and GC is assigning Kazuma something.
I know what I'm assigning you, Cullen.
I know what I'm assigning GC.
Have you seen Wolf's Rain?
Wolf's Rain?
Yes.
What is
an
this?
anime. It's a post-apocalyptic anime.
This looks neat.
I want you to watch Wolf's Rain. Watch as much as you like. Just get through one episode. If you like episode 1, keep watching more.
Sure. If I don't get a chance to like watch it, it is mostly because I like travel, but I will try to fit it in, and that does not seem too difficult.
Okay, awesome. I was gonna recommend some crazy batshit anime to you, but I don't know how you'd like it, so I'll save it for next time.
Sure. Well, GC.
Yeah.
So my record, like what I was going to suggest to you is a bit difficult because we do not have it on Steam and it never goes on sale. But I was going to assign to you Atelier Eska and Logi, but that's a $40 game. So I decided to...
Oh, hang on.
Are you going to look at GG deals?
Oh, hang on. What's it called again?
Atelier Escalogy.
Okay, never mind.
What?
It's not on sale anywhere.
No, that's the thing. It rarely goes on sale, and it is a shame because I've been looking to like rebuy it on PC because this is one of my favorite games of all time. So I am instead giving you a choice between 3 things. If you're committed to the bit, by all means, fucking buy it for $40. I can guarantee it's a very good game, and I think it is worth that price on whatever console you would want to play it on. But in regards to things that we have on Steam, if you're not looking to like put a monetary investment into this, either play Romancing Saga Minstrel Song Remastered or Trails Through Daybreak. One of those 3, and then report back.
You're giving me an embarrassment of options here.
It's just 3.
Yeah, it's a lot. I can pick any of them, huh?
Yeah.
Well, if I don't do my homework this week, folks, then I'll have let everyone down for sure, because this is a slam dunk, easy setup.
Yeah. And the great thing is you can get all of those on your Steam Deck and then just bring that over like with you during the trip. Daybreak in particular runs amazing on Steam Deck. I'm not trying to push you in that direction. I haven't played Minstrel Song on Steam Deck, but...
What if I played Balatro for the upteenth time instead?
No, you're not allowed to do that. And that is part of my homework assignment is don't play Balatro at all for the next 2 weeks.
You got it. I won't play Balatro at all.
All right. Now fuck off! GC Vasquez is playing Balatro. You know what though? I'll put myself on blast while they were talking about MMOs and Dragon Age. I tuned in to Evo for like a millisecond and I caught some good ass Tekken.
Hell yeah.
There's some good ass Tekken going on.
Yeah. Kazuma.
Yes.
It's my turn to assign you homework. I'm going to ask you a question, and that'll determine how long this segment goes for.
Okay.
Have you played Cryptmaster yet?
Yes, I have.
Damn it. Okay. This is going to take a second, folks. Oh, have you played Rogue Trader?
Yes, my dad got me the $100 collector's edition.
Oh.
My dad's a big Warhammer fan, and he was like, if I buy you the collector's edition for the early access, would you play it? And I'm like, yeah, Dad, I'll play it for you.
Oh, I know what I'm going to make you play.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to give you another weird PS2 game to play.
Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
I want you to play Metropolis Mania for the PS2.
Metropolis Mania. Let me look this up. You could have been kind to me and told me to go play the City of Heroes official private server.
Hey, GC, while Kazuma looks this up, I have an idea for maybe something you could have at the end, since this would just be a bit of dead air.
Yeah.
I would like you to watch the opening to Eska and Logi and give your audio response to it. Because I think this opening is so good, it convinces people to play the game.
Weird.
It is, isn't it?
But people love it.
They do, don't they?
It has a very high rating. What? Okay, I'm interested. It looks like a life sim. Is it a life sim?
It is half of one.
I'm not destroying the city, am I?
Do you want to?
No, you're building it.
Oh, it's by Natsumi. Whoa, what the fuck? I'm reading about the side stories.
Yeah, just, don't look too much into it. Just play it.
Okay, I'll play it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you, GC, for the weird recommendation. I will play this legally on my very real PlayStation 2 that I have hooked up to my PC.
All right, sick.
And lastly, as part of the show, we are going to be moving into the podcast question. We got one. And it's kind of interesting. I should have prepped you guys for this, but I think it'll be funny to see you guys scramble.
Okay.
So, dear Burnout guys from the podcast Burnout Podcast, I hope you are doing well and not feeling too burnt out. Now here's my question. If you were stranded on a lonely island and you can take 2 video games, 2 YouTube channels, and 2 books with you, which ones would it be and why?
Who asked the question?
Jake, another Jake.
Wait.
I imagine this is not our Jake. It's a
no,
different person named
this
Jake.
is our Jake.
This is our Jake?
This is our Jake. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
He said he sent in a question this week.
Oh,
yeah.
Then fuck it. We're not answering this bullshit, Jake.
Yeah, we
Fuck
are.
off.
We're answering it.
Also,
Yeah.
I cut off the end part of this question. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get to it, but it was also, can we get a meme of the week segment? And I say no. Because explaining, but if this was any other person sending this question in, I'd be very polite. But at this, we're not gonna explain memes on an audio podcast.
So this is, hang on, this is my meme of the week.
Ah, yes. See, look,
Yeah.
that's not engaging content.
No, but it's like just your reaction to it. Yeah, right? Like we're not saying what the meme is, but it's funny.
It's just us going like, well, what do you guys think about this meme? And Jesus can edit like a Discord ping, and we go, oh, what do you guys think about this one?
Okay, GC, you're first. 2 books, 2 YouTube channels, 2
games,
2 video games.
Okay, well, the 2 video games would be Dragon Quest VIII.
Okay.
And you can pick the same ones, it's fine. And and The Last Remnant, because I would have trouble remembering everything and I'd be replaying that game a lot. So okay, the 2 books would be one book titled How to Get Off an Island, and the second one would be How to Survive on an Island.
Wow.
And then 2 YouTube channels would be one of those primitive technology channels. And the other YouTube channel, I hope nothing bad about this person has come out recently or anything, because I would hate to say this one and then for that person to turn out to be a good person, but Down the Rabbit Hole.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I guess for me, books don't matter. I would use them as kindling anyway. Let's see. 2 games. I want to say Final Fantasy X and Tears of the Kingdom, because I wanted to pick an open world game because it would give me a lot to do. Like it's not just the same thing. I get to see a bunch of cool imagery. 2 YouTube channels. That's so fucking hard. I'd say I'd probably go Thor High Heels. Fucking I'll simp for K-Bash. Fine.
I was gonna say something, but then it wouldn't be appropriate. But you know what I was gonna say. Yes.
The end. I really want us to get him on the show just so we can make him say it. A live rendition of everyone's favorite underground meme.
See, and that would be fantastic because we're not monetizing anything. Like, we're not making money off of this, so YouTube couldn't even punish us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what are your books, Cullen?
I already said it doesn't matter what I bring. I'm gonna burn them.
Oh.
I don't read books. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I guess I have one book, and it would be probably my favorite book, which unfortunately is a young adult book because that shows you when I stopped reading books. It would be It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini.
Okay.
And if VNs count, maybe Suki. I'll cheat.
VNs count.
All right, cool. Maybe Human Echo. It's
okay.
It's 1 billion hours long.
Yeah, it's longer than the Bible.
Yep.
I would take Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn and Oryx and Craig by Margaret Atwood for my books. My YouTube channels would be Mina Lee and Annie Austin. And my video games would be World of Warcraft Classic and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
See, that's cheating, because on World of Warcraft, you can just be like, guys, I want an island, help.
No.
Because that implies you have
staying
internet
there.
connection.
No. See, Jake knows me, and So I've started going back to therapy recently, and I've come to realize that I hate being online, so being on an island would be a blessing.
He's like, guys, I'm stranded. It's pretty all right.
Yeah, guys, don't come get me. Just don't find me. Leave me here to die. But yeah, thank you for the question, Jake, who will be listening to this ahead of everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets the scoop. But Cullen, where can everybody find us?
You can find us on Burnout Culture Pod at Twitter. Or is it, wait, Burnout, what the fuck is our Twitter called? Burnout Cult on Twitter. You can find us at Burnout Culture Podcast on YouTube. You can email us at Burnout Culture Podcast. And then I imagine if you follow our Twitter, we'll announce the Discord. Whatever that'll be called. You'll need the link anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But
email us at burnoutculturepodcast@gmail.com.
I thought I said that. Did I not?
No.
Oh, well, do that then. And I'm gonna take the mic and say the mic I already have and be like, hi, on YouTube, watch my latest video.
Yeah, go watch the Fatal Frame video. It's very good.
Yes, and it basically flopped like really hard. You know what they say? Sometimes you shoot and you miss.
Well,
GC, where can they find you?
You can find me at GC Vasquez on YouTube, GC Vasquez on Twitch, GC_Vasquez on Twitter, and GC Vasquez on Blue Sky.
you can find me in hell. No, you can find me at Kazuma on Blue Sky, at Kagenaga on Twitch, and I don't use my Twitter anymore, but it's at JusticeKazi_. If you actually want to see what I have to yap about, go to Blue Sky. I don't use Twitter.
Okay, I don't even think I said what my YouTube channel was. It's just Cullen.
But
and the video's
search for
called
search for Dr. PhD Cullen, or you're not
Dr.
gonna
Cullen
find it.
PhD,
Yeah.
and the video is called, or just search for the video. It's called The Vibes of Fatal Frame 3. That's it. Go watch it and be like, this is sick as fuck. Oh my god. Wow. I love it. Those need to be separate comments for engagement, of course.
Yes. All right,
yeah.
everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in this week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, where we'll be recording again and talking about how awesome it was to meet up in person, or the podcast will have ended because we will have all gotten into a spat and we no longer like each other.
This will either be the beginning of a whole new arc or the end of the podcast. Tune in next week to find out.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Is killing me. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.